From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening: after nearly a week of trial, a Fairbanks man has once again changed his plea in a 2011 murder case.
22-year-old Cornelius Everett pleaded guilty this morning after having been on trial charged in the beating death of 55-year-old Johnson Clay Griffin. Griffin was found dead in his apartment at the Northward Building downtown. The medical examiner later determined he died of blunt force trauma to the chest. During the week-long trial, Everett's defense lawyer, Robert Noreen, said Griffin was an alcoholic who would often lose communication with friends and family and have women sleep over and party at his home. Sentencing for his case is set for April 24th.
We think you're going to learn that Mr. Griffin, and this is not to suggest that Mr. Griffin's life isn't a valuable one, had extreme difficulties with alcohol. Mr. Griffin was not coming to work. And you'll learn that he had basically fallen off the wagon.
A structure fire destroyed a mobile home in North Pole over the weekend. The blaze was reported at 12:30 a.m. and responders were told that occupants were trapped inside the residence. Due to that report, North Pole, Fort Wainwright, and Fairbanks fire departments provided mutual aid. On-scene fire officials determined all occupants were accounted for and they were able to control the blaze. 2 of the pets in the home were unaccounted for, and it was later reported that 1 dog perished in the blaze. One of the occupants also reportedly sustained minor burns but refused medical care on scene. An investigation into the cause of the fire is continuing.
There was an unknown amount of occupants in the house, and at least one of them heard a loud boom, a popping sound coming from the front end of the trailer, and when they went to investigate, they didn't see anything obvious. They left that area, went back into a different room, and then they noticed smoke, and that is what signaled them to a fire, and then they were able to exit out. It is completely gutted. It suffered pretty significant fire damage to the front of the trailer and heat and smoke damage throughout the rest of the trailer.
A Fairbanks man is in jail charged with multiple felonies after escaping from a detention center in Fairbanks. 25-year-old Willie Joe Batchelder was taken into custody yesterday after leaving the center on March 16th. He was in the detention center awaiting sentencing for felony burglary, theft, and criminal mischief charges when he left. According to charging documents, staff noticed pillows were piled up on Batchelder's bed, and he had left in the early morning hours. He was arraigned today in Fairbanks District Court. Bail was set at $7,500.
Actually, Mr. Batchelder had turned himself in pursuant to a court order to commence serving time. In that case, so he was actually, he had commenced the service of his time, although he had not yet been sentenced. In the other case, he was still pending sentencing in the felony matter.
That was my reading of the file as well.
Your Honor, I would submit that the court should set the bail at $5,000. I don't think North Star is going to take him back, given the nature of the case.
25 years ago today, the Exxon Valdez oil tanker struck a reef off the coast of Alaska, creating the largest oil spill in U.S. history at the time. The oil tanker spilled more than 11 million gallons of crude oil into Prince William Sound. The oil spread across 1,300 miles of shoreline, covering 3,000 square miles. Hundreds of thousands of birds and animals were affected by the environmental disaster. A federal judge ordered Exxon to pay $6.7 billion in punitive damages to thousands of fishermen and others. That's on top of the $3 billion Exxon had already spent on cleanup, settlements, and other fees and penalties. The 2010 Gulf of Mexico oil spill is now the largest in U.S. history.
All right, when we come back, the closing ceremonies of the Arctic Winter Games drew thousands of people again to the Carlson Center.
Also, people were shaving their heads bald for an annual fundraiser.
Fundraiser?
We have the details.
Fun buzzer.
Stay with us.
And welcome back. It began last Sunday with a setting of colors, music, and the presence of close to 2,000 athletes covering the Carlson Center floor. Saturday night, the scene was repeated once again in the Carlson Center as 6 days of competition, awards, friendships, and volunteers all came together in another ceremony to close out the 2014 Arctic Winter Games. Athletes hugged, shook hands, and sang together as one to commemorate the spirit of the Games. The final event was the lowering of the Arctic Winter Games flag and handing it over to the representative from the country of Greenland, who will be hosting the Games in 2 years.
Team Greenland. Would the chef de mission for Team Greenland please come up? Team Greenland.
Hunters across the state have many strategies to nab their trophy target, but the Alaska Game Board is banning one practice, using remote-controlled drones to spot an animal. The 7-member board voted unanimously to ban drones, and according to the director, the prohibition should become law by July 1st. While the technique is still uncommon, Alaska wildlife troopers say it's inevitable hunters would try it to gain an advantage. The head of the Alaska Game Board says the new law coincides with laws that ban using aircraft for same-day hunting.
But with the technology these days, we could see this as a tool used by hunters to not only spot game, but to direct game and drive game back to the hunter. So rather than allow this to get started and it become an unethical way of hunting, the board addressed it and said, well, we'll just not allow it in the state.
Do you know local businesses that are family friendly? Starting today, you can nominate them for the Family Friendly Workplace Award. Each year, the Early Childhood Development Commission recognizes local employers who help their employees balance work and family responsibilities. During the past 12 years, the commission has received nominations for 420 different businesses, and they have given 72 awards. According to the commission, a family-friendly philosophy improves all levels of the community.
And having your family in place and having a supported family makes all the difference. And that includes having employers support families either on or off site. And if the employer supports the family, then there's boosted morale in the workplace, less absenteeism, less turnover, and just, you know, general caring community within your employee group.
The deadline to nominate a business is April 4th. Call 459-1287 or go online to fnsb.us to find a nomination form. We've also provided a link at webcenter11.com.
The annual St. Baldrick's fundraiser to help fight childhood cancer was held at Pioneer Park this past weekend. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has that story.
Even though the Fairbanks event started at the same time as the closing ceremonies for the Arctic Winter Games, St. Baldrick's was not short of people Saturday night.
The purpose of this event is to raise money for childhood cancer research. And how we do that is raise money to shave our heads out of solidarity for those who have lost their hair due to medical reasons.
It originated in New York.
It started with a couple buddies making a bet to see who could raise the most money to shave their head. And it happened to be right around St. Patty's Day, so that's where St. Baldrick's.
This is the 10th year they've done it in Fairbanks, and they've raised a lot of dollars for the cause.
Leading up to this event, we were at about $290,000, and this year that we know of, we've raised over $20,000 for this year's event, so that puts us over the $300,000 mark for sure.
If you didn't make it there Saturday, you can still help.
They can still go to the website, stbaldricks.org, and donate to the team, or to the event itself, or an individual, and they can donate for several months after the event happens.
Since 2000, St. Baldrick's Worldwide has raised more than $188 million. Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
That's a good fundraiser, don't you guys think?
I think so too.
Yeah,
have you ever
definitely
shaved your head?
Yeah, I have actually.
I have, yeah, me
Not
too.
for that reason. College.
What was it? Middle school. Yeah.
College.
Well,
Hope so.
anyways, Joe.
Yeah,
thanks. Good to be back. Good to be back. And a lot going on with sports. A lot of repeats and even three-peats.
Three-peats.
Yes.
That's
awesome. Repeats and three-peats?
A local team a local basketball team got a three-peat over the weekend. We're going to talk about that. And also a repeat, an Open North American champion. Repeats.
I don't even know what a three-peat is.
We're about to find out after the break. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat. Once again, I'm back and I bring you the weekend recap. There's no better way to go out than to go out a champion. On Saturday, the Monroe Rams and their 7 seniors did just that, but it didn't look that way at first in the 3A championship game against the Grace Christian Grizzlies. Both teams were neck and neck. Monroe had a 24-21 lead at the break. The Grizz did something that Monroe usually does to start a second half, go on a run. Hans Karlberg led Grace with 15 points and hit 2 big threes as a part of an 11-0 run to start the third, giving Grace a 32-24 lead. But Monroe answered with a run of their own, a 15-2 run spark by Jalen McCullough. The smallest guy on the court had the biggest game, a game-high 23 points, 5 of 10 from downtown. In place of an injured David Stepovich, Tyler Wells and Scooter Bynum, well, they did their usual with pivotal plays down the stretch as Monroe led 44-36 going to the fourth, and that would be enough cushion. Monroe wins 58-47 over Grace Christian to complete a perfect 28-0 season and cement their dynasty with 3 straight state titles and 4 3A final appearances. They're also the first team in 3A to three-peat since the 3A classification was introduced in 1983.
You know, I just want to play for my teammates. You know, they're here for me, and I just want to give them it all. It means a lot, man. I wouldn't want to spend it with anyone else, but why not one more?
Oh yeah, it feels amazing. I mean, we have 7 seniors, so I mean, a lot of us are leaving this year, but it was great, especially getting it done on the senior year. You know, we all worked hard for it. So
every opponent we faced, whether it be Delta, Austin, anybody in our conference, or ACS, or Grace, so. We knew every game was going to be a battle, and we just tried to pull it out.
This is as good a group. No, there have been more talented teams to come through this state. I'm smart enough to know that. This is the greatest team that we've ever seen in this state in my mind.
And Fairbanks' own Arlie Reynolds wins his 2nd straight GCI Open North American Championship on Sunday. The story is his own dog team made him earn it this year. Reynolds had about a 3-minute lead going into Sunday's final, the 26.9-mile race, but he lost about 90 seconds because one of his dogs, Cal, got loose and ran off. So Reynolds had to chase her down and rein her back in. Reynolds ended up finishing the 2nd fastest time on Sunday, which was enough to win. His total time in 3 days was 225 minutes and 46.5 seconds. Jason Dunlap was 2nd, finishing in 229.12.2. In 3 days after he lost his way on the trail as well. James Wheeler was 3rd in 235 minutes, 40.5 seconds. Reynolds has won the Ferrandi, the ONAC, and eyes the Toke Run for another Triple Crown to complete his farewell tour. He plans to retire at the end of the season.
Everybody wants to take a shot at the champion whenever they can get one. You know,
and we've got computers
obviously, Arlie, you're going to see this. It's
timing van. We'll have some
hope you stay in it so we can keep duking it out.
I knew the dogs were really strong, and we could possibly make that all up, and we did. I just let them run within their limits, you know, within what they're capable of doing. I've wanted to run this race my whole life, and you know, it took me till I was in my 30s before I got up here, and it took me 13 times to win it, and to go out on top is very special.
Lots of good things happening for Fairbanks teams and athletes. The Ice Dogs couldn't get the sweep over the weekend over the Kenai River Brown Bears, but they probably got something a lot better. Despite Saturday's 4-2 loss, in which the Ice Dogs rallied with 2 goals in the 3rd period, after being down 3-0, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs have won the regular season NAHL title. The Amarillo Bulls won't be able to catch up with the Ice Dogs, who have 87 points to the Bulls' 82 with 2 games to go. It's a huge feat for Fairbanks because now they will have home ice throughout the playoffs and the Robertson Cup if they get there. The Ice Dogs will wrap up the regular season this weekend against the Brown Bears at home in the Dipper. Finally, here's this week's Interior Top 5 plays that has a little bit of everything from this week's action. The I-5 now.
At number 5, the clutch layup from Monroe's Tyler Wells against ACS in the 3A semifinal on Friday night, clinching a 56-50 win for the Rams. At number 4, the Team Alaska girls hockey team, Jessica Carlson with a beautiful pass to Maddie Morey for the goal in Alaska's 9-1 win over Nunavut. Team Alaska will go on to win AWG gold. At number 3, we go to AWG snowboarding and check out the front flips from Tim Shermer of Alberta North. He ended up getting silver in the event, but delivered some X-Games style tricks. At number 2, Arlie Reynolds wins the 2014 GCI Open North American Championship with a total 3-day time of 225 minutes and 46.5 seconds. That's back-to-back ONAC titles for Reynolds in his farewell tour. At number 1, the 15-2 run by the Monroe Rams in the third quarter, coming back from an 8-point deficit to defeat Grace Christian 58-47 in the 3A boys final for their third consecutive state championship. To pick the play of the week, go to the KTVF Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages, comment on the post, and pick the best play. You can also email Joe Cook at KTVF11.com. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that's a wrap for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather. This beautiful weather is going to continue at least into the weekend, the way it looks right now. Maybe beyond that. We are definitely into a springtime situation here. Fantastic photograph to share with you tonight, and Gary Kahlberg assures me this has not been touched up whatsoever. Beautiful auroras in Fox on the 21st of March, and just a magnificent photograph there. Again, thanks to Gary. And if you have a photograph you want to share with us, by all means, send to photos at ktvf11.com. The numbers look like this. After a high of 41, we're down to 39 right now. And the overnight low last night, 5 below. Record high 56, 1915, turned around to 38 below in 1935. Sunrise and sunset, 12 hours and 44 minutes of daylight, a gain of 6.5 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite, you can see this little edge of clouds here. That's where the huge bowl of high pressure is sitting over the state and just continuing to keep any kind of cloudiness or any kind of moisture away from most of the state. There is some over the southeastern sections. You can see here on the map as we're looking at a few rain and snow showers around the Ketchikan area, and that's it. Lots of sunshine everywhere else, and temperature is very comfortable. 28 degrees at Fort Yukon, 32 at Nome, and 39 in Anchorage. Lower 48 weather tonight. Well, we have a little bit of weather to talk about in the form of rain over the Pacific Northwest. A new storm is gathering strength, though, and that's expected to bring some wild weather to the northeast once again. In fact, by tomorrow night, this storm system here is expected to really roar across the Appalachians out over the Atlantic Ocean and gain strength and become a major nor'easter, they call it. And the snowfall totals are looking at the heaviest snow, fortunately, is going to be way over to the eastern side of the country, around the Nantucket area, and then just New York looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow, but still they cannot get rid of the snow and they cannot see spring for a while. The outlook for later on this week is calling for this storm system to move up into Canada, and then more rain moving across the Pacific Northwest and dropping down over California, and they definitely need that too. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. Sunny skies for Barrow, mostly sunny skies for Nome and Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, a repeat performance of today. Once again, lots of sunshine all the way across the region. Over southeast Alaska, a little mixed bag of weather there. Mostly cloudy skies for Juneau, rain likely for Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, it looks like for the most part, rain and snow for Cold Bay, mostly cloudy skies for Kodiak, and mostly sunny skies for Bethel. And around the Anchorage Bowl, we're looking at sunny skies across the area, with temperatures, once again, very comfortable, 43 degrees at Homer. Okay, it's time for a new kids weather for this week, and this week we're visiting with the kids from Northern Lights Academy. Here's a young man with an interesting story to share with you.
When my mom was a little girl, they went camping a lot, and her dad saw a tornado kind of far away, and they all piled up in the car for about a few hours and watched the tent bounce around like a ball a few times before it went up.
And tomorrow night, a young lady will be here with a very unique picture to share with you. We won't miss that. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 3 degrees, the overnight low, clear skies, continued cool, light breezes. Tomorrow's forecast, just like it was today, another spectacular sunny day, 43 degrees, and the extended forecast looking at 40-degree temperatures at least through Thursday, and still in the upper 30s right on into the rest of the weekend with lots of sunshine every day. Overnight lows also very comfortable, right around the 5-degree mark, a little bit warmer possibly on Wednesday night. It's great weather.
I just cannot believe that. I'm so happy about it. It feels great outside.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is. And it's melting pretty good, too.
Yeah, for late March,
Yeah.
so I wonder what April will hold for us.
Yeah. That's a lot. It may be different this year.
Very
Did
good.
it snow this time last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not until
say
May.
that.
No, I'm just,
We don't want to wake it up.
remembering.
All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is coming up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
And that will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night. We hope to see you back here at 11.